How to create the perfect Instagram bio, that's what we're talking about today, and a whole lot more. I'm gonna give you a formula and some tips that you can implement to stand out, convey your value, convince someone to hit that follow button on this channel. I talk a lot about Instagram, personal branding, and other social media platforms, as well as practical advice to looking good online. So if those topics interest you, I would love to have you around here a little more often. Be sure to subscribe or consider subscribing and hit that bell to be notified when I post next. Now, let's write the perfect Instagram bio together. Today I'm in Cabo, and the question comes from Jake, who says, Phil, I think I need to rewrite my bio on Instagram. Any tips? Yes, I'm going to tell you exactly how to rewrite it today, step by step. We'll talk about your bio. We'll also talk about all of the other elements that your bio are working with. So this is going to be a lot of information, but I think you're going to find it valuable. Before we dive into that, I want to tell you about my course, Instagram Mastery. This course will help you improve your game on all four, actually 5 pillars of Instagram: feed, stories, live, and IGTV, as well as the newest one, Reels. I've included a promo code below that will help you get 50% off this course, my way of saying thank you for hanging out with me today. So let's write that bio, and I'm going to break this down into 8 connected elements: profile photo, handle, name, bio, link in bio, location, contact details, and highlights. So we're going to cover a lot. Let's start with the first one. Element number 1, your profile photo. This should be a photo that crops well as a square. It will be shown as a circle, and you want to make sure that this is as close as possible to your face. Keep in mind, the majority of people see this really super small next to your social media handle, right above your post or your story. Cropping in close to your face increases the likelihood that they are going to know it's you. Now, a pro tip, I will often choose an image that contains even loose references to my brand colors, and that way the profile photo looks great with all the other pictures that I post on my feed. Element number 2, your handle. Ideally something consistent with how we can find you online, including other social media sites. Now, I'm lucky because I've got a unique last name so that my social media handle is consistent across the internet. It's easy to find me. But if you're someone who is late to the party and someone has already nabbed your ideal handle, then you might have to get creative. Or if your name is more common or more generic. So my colleague, for example, Lauren, her last name is Moore, right? It's a bit more generic. So she adds the in front of her handle to make it unique. So you can think about a word, a descriptor, the, maybe some punctuation. Get creative with how you do this. Ideally, your handle is consistent with how you show up across the internet. Pro tip, I love incorporating punctuation into Instagram handles, particularly when you can keep your handle exactly the same as your website address. My client Janet McTavish, we did this with her Instagram profile, so it's actually janetmctavish.travel, which is exactly the same as her website. Element number 3 is not yet the bio. That's coming up next. I have one more thing to talk about before that. This is your name. This should be able to coexist well with your handle. Now, since my handle tells people my name, I've shortened it in the name field and opted to include important keywords related to my industry, personal branding. So I've made sure that when someone searches my name, Phil Pallen, that my handle helps them find me. But now if someone is looking for personal branding, I increase the likelihood that they'll find me with that keyword or descriptor too. So you want to think about something relevant, searchable, keywords that can help improve your discoverability in search. And I had some fun in mine. I added a flag emoji of the country that I'm in at any particular moment. So that becomes another conversation starter, if you will. Remember that the name field has a maximum character length of 30 characters. Element number 4, we're finally here to talk about the bio. Let's talk about it. It is also searchable, so keywords are really important. However, I tend to think that the shorter the bio, the better. Why? Because the longer the bio, the further it pushes down your photos from the preview, especially if you're using story highlights, and we'll talk about those in a second. Rather than using full sentences, I'm a big fan of using bullet points here, right? So you can tell people quickly who you are. So for example, I am a personal branding expert, a speaker, and a digital nomad. Also, specifically, you want to tell people what they can get from you. So for me, this is practical advice to look good online. I also recommend including something that illustrates your credibility if there's room. So this could be the number of clients, the number of years worked, etc. Workshop yours to get it concise, punchy, and enticing, while including relevant keywords if you can. Also working with your bio is what I would call element number 5. This is your link in bio. This is one of the rare places on Instagram that allows you to send people somewhere away from the app itself. Instagram doesn't really want you leaving, so make great use of this valuable real estate. Don't just list your website and call it a day. This should actually be a customized page on your website, ideally, where Instagram visitors can go, and you can switch up the kinds of offers and content that you share there. Give people a reason to keep coming back. And if you want some inspiration, I recommend pulling up mine right now on your phone. It is philpallen.co/Instagram. I change this link almost every single day depending on what I'm posting on in my feed or in my stories. And for this page, I keep it really simple so that it looks great on a phone, since most people are accessing that from their phone, their mobile device. My page is always going to have a different offer, enticing people to opt into my email list and get a freebie in exchange for joining the list. So you can be inspired to do something similar as well. Next element, element number 6. Location. Now, some people have this on their profile because it's a legacy feature, which means if you were using it before and you haven't removed it, it still might be there. Now, because I am a digital nomad and I move around often, I had this disabled. I no longer have the ability to specify my location on Instagram. Many people, though, they write it somewhere in their profile manually, like in the bio, or in my case, I use a flag emoji of the country of wherever I am in my name field. If you no longer have this feature in your profile, you cannot get it back. Element number 7, we're almost there, contact details. Now, if someone wants to get in touch with you, what is the best way that they should get in touch with you? This enables you, or you can disable it, a series of buttons that give your user clarity on how they can get in touch, like email or phone or address. Finally, the last element I want to talk today that works with your bio is element number 8, highlights. We haven't talked a lot about stories in this video, but I have lots of other videos where I mention them, and I will link to one right over here. You likely already know that stories stick around for 24 hours unless you put them into your highlights, which then appear on your profile details and above your most recent feed posts. This is a great place to give people a little flavor of what you're all about, the types of things that you post. So any of your best performing stories, this is the best place to save them. Think of your highlights like you would think about your website. What's the information that you want to convey to someone quickly so they get a full picture of you? Now that's a wrap on optimizing your profile, writing your bio. I want to hear from you now. What is the first thing that you're going to change on your Instagram profile? Let me know in the comments below. I keep an eye on those and I respond to them personally so we can keep the conversation going down there. If you found this video helpful, I would super appreciate a like and consider subscribing for more of my videos here on YouTube, where I post them weekly. I discuss Instagram and growing your followers and building your personal brand, and lots of practical advice to look good online. Next, I'm linking you through to some other Instagram related videos to help you build your brand. I'm Phil Pallen, and thank you for watching. Those are coming up next.